right. Well, we're going to be doing some more research on the black culture here in Mexico. My first video got so many different comments, thousands of comments, especially from Mexicans, and some of them felt like I was culture vulturing on the topic of
Tell the
black
truth. Tell it
African
like it
culture
is.
in Mexico. I want to make it clear in a video, before you get upset, please try to understand one thing. Mexican culture is a mixture of so many different things. It's like a pot of beautiful food mixed up and made something special, right? So you do have, of course, the indigenous people who lived here. These people, right? Whoever these people may be, or whoever they look like, or what they look like. We don't know if they came from Africa, but one thing for sure, they look like somebody. They look like people from Africa. But that doesn't go to say that they weren't from here, but they look like Africans. That's something that people don't try to concede, right? Either way, right? What we do know for Mexican culture, though, in a whole, there were enslaved people that came to this country. And they did contribute to the culture of this country as well. When it comes to food, the singing, and other important things like farming. The enslaved people came here and showed people how to do certain type of farming and
we don't have to just have Juneteenth
that is still being
to teach you culture
and celebrated in this country as well. So let me say it again. When you come to Mexico or you think about Mexican culture, do you consider the contribution of the Africans who came here to help create the culture that is Mexican today?
When Mexico was conceived as a modern nation in the 19th century, the people were told that we were all mixed breeds, that we were a part European and mostly indigenous, and that the very little bit of African genes that we had disappeared through this mixing. Interestingly so, the reason given was that African genes were recessive. So the idea that in Mexico there is no African legacy, it has been my lifetime challenge, and lifetime challenge to prove that Africa is in the daily routine of Mexicans, not only Mexicans who look black, but also of Mexicans who look white. Africa is more than a color. Africa is more than a race, particularly now that we know that races don't exist. But the legacy that Africans, this is anywhere from 300,000 to 1 million Africans were brought to Mexico during the colonial period. And they did not come empty-handed. Rice is not the only thing that Africans brought to Mexico. Some of the drinks that we have, the national drinks, 3 national drinks, are teas made from what is called Jamaica, which is known as Bissap in West Africa, and the other one is tamarind, which is called as Ruja in West Africa, and of course the rice water that comes from the same rice that now I know it came from the Casamance area. But what's really interesting is that not only our drinks, not only the rice, but even the way we serve the stews reveal a very deep African imprint in our culture as well. So in general, that is what I have dedicated my life to rediscovering our African heritage and making that heritage visible for Mexicans and everyone outside of Mexico.
Although a lot